Hey, what's up, guys? It's a Sports Blitz here, and we're back with another NFL record prediction. Before I get into it, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Guys, we still have that goal of 1,450 subscribers. I'm really wanting to reach that soon. In fact, actually, before the Hall of Fame game comes up on August 4th, so if you could help me reach that goal, that'd be awesome. Um, so let's go ahead and jump on into the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to be honest here. It's probably going to make a lot of Falcons fans mad. Okay, I don't expect the Falcons to be a good team this year at all. That said, I do like the coach, and I do think he will be able to turn this roster around in another year or two and eventually get it back up to being able to compete. Um, I just, for right now, I don't expect it to be a very good team. So, looking at the roster, quarterback, they got Marcus Mariota. I really like that he has another shot to, prove himself. I think there's a good chance he can do pretty solid in Atlanta. I'm not expecting an MVP type of play, but I think he'll be solid. I don't expect Desmond Ritter to get any real playing time this year, but I could definitely see him being a solid quarterback, in the next few years. So, running backs, they got Cordero Patterson, Damian Williams, and Tyler Algier. Um, that's actually pretty solid running back room. I mean, Cordero Patterson had a really good season last year, was accounting for a lot of touchdowns. Damian Williams, I mean, he's not like anything special, but he's a fairly solid number two running back. And really, Tyler Algier, he played for BYU. I actually got to watch him quite a bit. I think he's really talented. Honestly, I see a little bit of like a Mike Davis in him, if I'm being honest. I know Mike Davis didn't really do much with the Falcons specifically, but I don't know. I like Tyler Algier. I think he'll be pretty good. Going to receivers, they got Drake London, Brian Edwards, and Olamide Zaccheaus. Um, Drake London was, I believe, is my number five receiver in the draft, if I'm not mistaken. Because I mean, I had Garrett Wilson ranked above him, Chris Olave, Traylon Burks. Trying to think if there was one other that was above him, but either way, there were a few guys that were above him, so I think they could have gone with a different receiver personally. But I mean, he's a big receiver. He's a big target. It's going to help out Marcus Mariota regardless. Brian Edwards, this is a super underrated receiver as well from the Raiders. I was kind of surprised the Raiders didn't really try to re-sign him, to be honest. So, yeah, that was an interesting one. Olamide Zaccheaus, I mean, he's kind of always going to be that type of receiver that he's not going to put up like a crazy big season. Like I never will expect him to have like an 800-yard, 7 touchdown season, but he can make a big play at any time. You know, he's not like consistent, but he has big play potential, and I think that's going to really help out the Falcons. So, then, we all know Kyle Pitts had 1,000 yards as a rookie. He did only have 1 touchdown, but I do expect those numbers to go up quite a bit this year. And really, between him and Drake London, um, they're gonna have some good targets. So, offensive line, um, not the worst O line in the world, but I'm not really a huge fan of it either. I don't think that Jake Matthews is particularly great. Jalen Mayfield, if I recall last year, I think he had a lot of holding penalties, if I'm not mistaken. And I wasn't real high on him coming out of the draft either. So, not a big fan of him. Matt Hennessy, I mean, he's got potential, but I'm still not super high on him. I will say I do really like Chris Lindstrom. He is a very talented guard in the NFL. I want to say he's only like 25 or 26 as well, so he's got time to get even better. Um, they've got Caleb McGarry, who's a pretty solid tackle. I mean, I don't think he's like incredible, but he's pretty solid. So, not the worst O line ever, but it's not like top tier either. So, going to the defense, I think Marlon Davidson is primed for a pretty big year this year. I think him and Grady Jarrett will help each other quite a bit. They do also, that's surprising, they have Eddie Goldman listed as the number 2 nose tackle. I don't expect that to really be the case. I think Eddie Goldman will be the starter at nose tackle no matter what. I like Eddie Goldman. I think he's going to be great. It's a pretty solid D line. I mean, not much depth behind the starter, so if any injuries happen, they're pretty screwed. But the starters are pretty solid. They do also have Arnold Ebikette, so I mean he's going to be more of a pass rushing outside linebacker. He's not really a big coverage guy, so they're essentially going to be rushing 4. Deion Jones, solid linebacker, has been a really underrated linebacker for quite a long time, actually. Rashaan Evans, another really underrated linebacker. So I really like their inside linebackers right there. Lorenzo Carter, I'll be honest, I don't really know anything about him. I don't know if he's any good. So, yeah, I don't know there. Corners, I do like their corners. They got AJ Terrell and Casey Hayward. I mean, AJ Terrell, in my mind, is a top 5 corner in the league. Just gonna put that out there. I may not like the Falcons, but I'll give credit where credit is due. AJ Terrell is a top 5 corner in the league. Casey Hayward is also really good too. He was really good with the Raiders, I believe, last year. And I think he could be good with the Falcons as well. I'm not a big fan of their safeties. Honestly, I could very well see Richie Grant taking over as the starting strong safety. I really liked him coming out of college, actually. So if he gets his chance at safety, I think he'll do really well. I think he'll be better than either of their starting safeties. But yeah, I mean, this team's got a lot of holes. They're not really in a spot that they're going to be competing this year. But like I said, they've got a good coach, and I think he's doing pretty well with the roster so far that I feel like they'll be able to turn it around soon. Okay? I really do. And especially with, in my opinion, the Saints kind of starting to decline a little bit and Tom Brady getting older, honestly, I could see 3 years from now, I could see that division being run by the Falcons and Panthers. Just being honest. So, let's go ahead and jump on over to the prediction, though. All right, so Atlanta Falcons, we got the prediction. I'm going to say, honestly, I think the Falcons will have a 1-5 division record. I think they'll manage to pull off a win against the Saints with Alvin Kamara suspended, likely. And really, it doesn't seem like Michael Thomas is real healthy yet either. So I think the Falcons will be able to pull off an early win, but that's going to be the only divisional win that they get. I truly believe that this is going to be the year for the Panthers to sweep them. I do strongly believe the Bucks will sweep them. So let's go ahead and go down and mark all of these. Then the Saints will win that other game. So yeah, 1-5 divisional record. I know it's not great, but it could be worse. It could be worse. they've got kind of a tough schedule. Week 2, they've got the Rams. I'm sorry, I can't pretend to act like they're going to beat the Rams. Um, I will say, however, I'm not real high on the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are going to be a bottom 5 team in the league this year, and this is going to be an entertaining game. I think with AJ Terrell and Casey Hayward, I think they'll be able to not necessarily, lock down DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, but they'll they'll cover him pretty well. I think they're gonna I think they're gonna neutralize him pretty well. So I'm gonna give this game to the Falcons. Week 4, this could definitely go either way. I definitely expect a Deshaun Watson suspension, so I don't expect him to play here. But the Browns' run game is still going to be really good. I think this is going to be a game that really tests the coaching. If they can put together a scheme that really stops the run really well in this game, the Falcons can win. But I'm not necessarily expecting it right now. So I'm going to go Browns right there. Jumping to week 6, we have the 49ers at the Falcons. And the 49ers, I'm not sure what they're going to be, okay? I don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be the starter or if Trey Lance is going to be the starter. If it's Jimmy Garoppolo, I would expect this game to be won by the 49ers. If it's Trey Lance, I don't really know what Trey Lance is going to be. Okay? I know he has a lot of talent, but I don't know what he's going to be. I don't know if he's ready yet. So this is a really hard game to predict, but this is also kind of a game like the Browns that, the 49ers know how to run the ball. They really do. 49ers have a good run game. I think I'm going to give this one to the 49ers. Then going to week 7, I'm going to give this one to the Bengals. I'm really high on the Bengals this year. I think they're going to be, in my eyes, I think they'll be a 12-5 team. Already talked about the divisional games, so Chargers, I think, are also going to be a really good team this year. Honestly, I expect them to win that division, and that's a very tough division this year. I think their team's too stacked right now. Week 11, I do think the Falcons will be able to pull off a win there. I don't think the Bears gave Justin Fields any help this offseason. Other than Darnell Mooney, they don't have any weapons. Their defense isn't as good as it used to be. Obviously, they lost Khalil Mack. I'm not a huge fan of the Bears right now. Week 12, I do think the Falcons will beat the Commanders. I think the Commanders are also going to have a really bad year. I'm not real high on them right now. Carson Wentz, I think, will be solid, but I don't think it's going to be enough to really win the Commanders' mini games. So, week 13, I'm going to give this one to the Steelers. I could definitely see the Falcons getting this one, but the Steelers always tend to overperform and find a way to get to 9 wins, I know I gave them ultimately a 7-10 record this year, but they could definitely overperform. So I'm going to give this one to the Steelers. They play really well at the very end of the season as well. So then we have week 16, we have the Falcons at the Ravens. I'm going to go Ravens right here. And lastly, we have the Cardinals at the Falcons, and I'm going to go Cardinals. So overall, this does give the Falcons a 4-13 record. I know Falcons fans aren't going to like this, but again, have patience. I think the coach is a good coach, and he'll be able to turn it around. I really do. I really think he'll be able to turn it around. It's just, I don't think they're in a position to compete this year. And you know, any non biased Falcons fan, any realistic Falcons fan, I think would say the same thing. So, let me know what you thought of this record prediction in the comments section below. Again, smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Later.